Sanctum Villa is an expression which is derived from the discussions with the clients. This whole dream came into the reality with the design or with the detailing or the spatial configuration that is given behind the house.
Today we are in Bhuj to discuss Sanctum Villa. It is one of our recently completed project. It's a luxurious and modern villa. To know more about the projects, you can visit www.buildify.com. And if you have any queries regarding the project, please mention in the comments below and we'll try replying.
Sanctum is mainly a holy place or something which is center of all. So here in this case it is the temple, that becomes the core part, the center part of the house, and that is why it is the Sanctum Villa. So the house is located in Kutch district and Bhuj city. So site was mainly flat piece of land. There was no existing structure. There were few existing house around. It is a housing community where of course mostly individual villas will be coming up all around, and Bhuj is earthquake zone 5. So there is not much of the height that is allowed. I mean, most of the buildings are G+2 or 3. This is the scale that we are looking at.
So the clients, it's a very big joint family. They have their parents, they have 2 brothers, they have their extended families with little kids and a sister. So it's a family of 9-10 people, and their main brief, as Ronak mentioned, was to have a nice place where they can pray together. Besides that, they all wanted their individual spaces in the house and yet stay connected.
When we look at the ground floor plan in detail, we had a big front entrance court before we enter the house. First of all, the house is placed on the plot in such a way that it is in the center, where we have the front garden courtyard also and the back garden as well. So that whenever we build, all our spaces, they are facing our own landscape areas. The temple is placed right in the center of the house, so that becomes the most important structure of the house. And then all the build masses are done around it.
The central courtyard is heart of the house, which we have done a waterscape, which again changes the aura of overall house and which brings a lot of positivity. This waterscape was designed in that way that we wanted to have a nice graphical pattern in this area, so that when water is not filled up, it also gives that complement, that carpet kind of feel to this entire thing. Since the architectural language and interior language is contemporary and subtle, but we wanted to add that vibrancy to the central space, because here we have this temple and we thought to use the classic pattern and which is contemporary. So that's how we end up with this herringbone black and white pattern.
As soon as we enter the house, we are not in a small vestibule or a waiting area space. We actually enter into a landscape courtyard with a big skylight on top. As we start moving around the ground floor, there are 2 wings to the ground floor. One wing becomes the formal area or the public area. So we have a sitting room, a formal sitting room in the front. We have our services in the center. And on the back here we have our guest bedroom. While on the other part of the house, it becomes more of a living and family areas, where again we have one more master bedroom here, and the services in center. The services on both the sides, they are placed in center in such a way that our wings they open up towards east and west. So there are no barriers, so we face our front and back gardens all the time from the surrounding spaces. As we move on to this part, there is a staircase here which goes to the upper floor and the basement floor of the house. The living room again sits in center of this wing, which is again double height. So it connects the ground floor and the first floor areas. As we look at the extended deck here, the deck was done in such a way that it can be used in a multi-purpose way while using the back garden. The back garden also has their recreational spaces, like their gym, which is placed here, which opens out towards the deck and the garden area. And there is one niche on the back boundary of the site. That niche is utilized in such a way that we have placed our snooker room here. As we move to the upper floor, there is a small lounge space or a small waiting area here with some storage spaces. There is a bridge which is done here in center, again overlooking to the green courtyards on the ground floor. There is big storage which is given here in the front part. One wing becomes for the brother room for the elder brother, and then again the central part for the service areas. And on the front we have the kids room here.
So we are right now in the kids' bedroom. This is again on the first floor and it opens up on the front side of the house. The paneling and everything is done in a very playful manner such that it gives that feeling of a kid's bedroom. So wardrobes are designed such that it again continues the playful element. They had a lot of toys. There are 3 kids in the house. They have a lot of toys, they have a lot of games and dolls and soft toys. So they wanted that to be a part of the decor of the room. So we designed in such a way that we gave them like a few open boxes and open niches where they can just decorate by themselves, and a few closed shutters wherein they can put their clothes and other things in.
On the other side, again one bedroom for the younger brother with the balcony on the east side. So both the brothers, they have balcony facing towards their east garden, so their own private backyard space. And there is one more room on the front side which becomes the sister's bedroom on the front side, again with a overhang. The client brief was to have a poker room in the basement area. So with the poker room, they also had requirement for the home theater. So that was one other activity that we also plan to have in the basement, so that we can have good acoustic feel to it, and it can be done in a proper manner in the basement part.
So if you look at the entire house, architecturally and interior wise, the overall material that you see is a lot of wood, a lot of metal structures, cotton, steel and stone. These are the materials that overpower the elevation and the masses of the house. The same materials have been reflected in the interiors as well. The color scheme remains to be brown, grey, black, so that follows throughout the project.
When we design a house or when we build a house, every house has to has that character or that uniqueness to it. You know, so like this being Sanctum Villa with the temple being the center part and the house moving around it. I think what we also take away is that creating such unique projects for our clients where we can have something new or that feature to each and every house.